Whether a person chooses to be gay or lesbian or heterosexual is a choice that a person is making. Okay, and I really don't have an opinion on how they choose to lead their sexual life. What would really concern me is whether that person is human or not.
After the World War, a pastor of a German evangelical church, disgusted with what had happened to his country, wrote, "The Nazis first came for the communists, and I did not speak up because I was not a communist. Then they came for the Jews, and I did not speak up because I was not a Jew. Then they came for the Catholics, and again, I did not speak up for I was not a Catholic. Then they came for me, and by the time there was no one to speak up for anymore." This account not only highlights the gross atrocities carried out by the Nazis against mankind, but more importantly tells the same old story of man's struggle for survival, the age-old saga of might versus right, and very simply said, the story of human rights.
Human rights. I have no idea when it was established.
Human rights is basic to all individuals.
बात करें ह्यूमन राइट्स की, तो मेरे ख्याल से ह्यूमन राइट्स एक ऐसा अधिकार है जो सबको मिलना चाहिए.
Whoever came up with the idea of human rights is wonderful. Just the idea that everyone should be treated equally and every person with every thought is the same thing no matter what.
World is in danger. The world is in danger. And gay sex will save it.
Those very same children who say human rights doesn't concern us, they'll be the first one to fight against their mom or their dad who put restrictions on them, okay? That's right. Okay, it starts from there. How do you deal with that? And we have to learn to deal with these situations, to negotiate these situations at home, which will teach us how to negotiate with friends in college, with colleagues at work, and in the real world.
Today the main issue in the world is how a human being is treated.
इंसान चाहे किसी भी तरह का हो, उन्हें उनकी ज़िंदगी खुद के तरीके से जीने का पूरा हक मिलना चाहिए, चाहे वो किसी भी तरह का सामाजिक हो या कानूनी हो.
Human rights is part of our life, every breathing moment.
India, a country which is known for its secularism, culture, religious values, and hospitality. But as the saying goes, there are two sides of a coin. India too has the other side, lying underneath its all social values. This country has faced a lot of problems from Sikh riots of 1984 after the assassination of Indira Gandhi to Bombay riots of 1992, Gujarat riots, Nandigram 2611, which shows the violation of human rights in recent years. But apart from all of these big issues, there are several personal issues that are being neglected by our government for decades.
Human rights means that every person has the right to live with dignity, live with the way he or she wants to live, whether it's to do with occupation, whether it is to do with religion, whether it has to do with gender, sexuality. I would say that it has to encompass everything. So human rights is a guarantee of life with dignity. That is important, and usually what happens is most of the time we think everybody should have it. It sounds so basic, and why we not having it? But the fact that it is not, because one is lack of awareness, lack of education, and the disempowerment because of education, because of poverty. I mean, what happens is why people don't understand what their rights are is because they've been so dissembled for so many years and centuries. Like suppose you take somebody from quote unquote the lower caste, as they've been dissembled by centuries from various people, various institutions, like either a religious institute or a caste institute, whichever. Or you take the case of people from, say, sexual minorities, like a transgender person or a gay person. They have been stigmatized and ridiculed all these years. So they don't even know that these rights exist, that they have a right to love somebody, they have a right to live happily. So for them, even these basic things, I mean, food is separate, but even just to live that, okay, I'm myself and I'm happy the way I am, okay, is a big thing. If you see the film from Cambodia, which we saw headline, those girls have no idea that they can even say no to anything, you know, whatever kind of abuse, whatever kind of violence, okay, they don't have the right to say no because they have no support structure, they have no education, they have no awareness. And if they, I think even if they have a family, I mean, one of the girls does have a family, you know, but the fact is even the mother is uneducated. So who's going to tell this little girl that you have human rights and you should exercise it? Now that is a point that, like, I think the first step to really get a building human rights is building awareness and building education of some sort or other. I'm not talking go to school or college, but the fact that you have to educate, make people aware and understand. So some of the things which I say, and that is the only way, this is the beginning. I mean, just educate, make people aware, and then the change can happen.
Members of the LGBT community are human beings. We are part of this planet. We're part of nature. And we should be having the same rights as any other human being. It's really as simple as that.
Many lives has been sacrificed in order to bring out the cases that were suppressed, like the Matthew Shepard case, who was tortured and killed for being gay.
According to me, I think there is no need to think that way, that these people are aliens or they have not really actually part of the society. This question for me, Kunal, actually doesn't arise because I feel like they are like one of us, I am like one of them. So that is exciting.
You hating someone, or you killing them, or discriminating them on the basis of who they love is ridiculous. Because everyone goes through same things, though it is puberty, though it's breakup, though it's anything. Everyone goes through the same things. The difference is the person you choose to love, which is not a wrong thing to do. Shepard's murder brought national and international attention to the issue of hate crime legislation at the state and federal levels.
Hats off to them, because they even take that insult or that laughter or that giggling which we do in front of them being normal, and just I salute them so that they can stand by what they are.
लेस्बियन, गेज, बाइसेक्सुअल और ट्रांसजेंडर के बारे में मैं यही बोलना चाहूँगा कि उनको भी वही अधिकार मिलने चाहिए जो इस सोसाइटी में एक आम इंसान को दिए जाते हैं, क्योंकि उनका रहन सहन, उनका खाना पीना, वो सब एक आम इंसान की तरह है जो इस सोसाइटी पे उन्हें हिकारत भरी नज़रों से देखते हैं, उन्हें अलग तरीके से देखते हैं। भगवान पर वो भी भरोसा करते हैं, काम वो भी अपना ही करते हैं, बस उनका रहने का थोड़ा तरीका अलग है, उनकी सोच थोड़ी अलग है जो हमें अपनाना चाहिए।
A case happened in Nagpur, India, of Srinivas Ramchandra Siras, chairman of the Department of Modern Indian Languages at Aligarh Muslim University, was suspended for being gay. He was videotaped having consensual sex inside his home. A videotaping was an elaborate setup by his students.
You should consider again that they are human beings. They are, and they have got every right to live in our society with harmony, peace and love. affection which is taken as they are given, the hatred which is given to is not acceptable to me. They are a human being and they should be treated as a human. So there is no problem with that.
Like outside India, it has been accepted, which is why I respect that fact, because like I said, they're like that by nature. Like any other human being, they're as normal as anybody. If their sexual preferences shouldn't matter to anybody in the society, it's a very personal thing. You are nobody to comment on what they prefer. So I think it's none of our business to even care about that. So if you're outcasting someone only for that reason, I think it's ridiculous.
Cinema is a mirror of one society, and our movies speak volumes about what we think about this community. Films like Dostana and I can think of the other movie, Dostana, I guess. They make fun of these communities, I guess, which kind of shows what and projects what we think about these communities. And I guess the recent verdict has really opened up the arena, and I guess the whole human rights thing is going in a very positive direction. And the problem with India is that we're still ignorant about these communities and their rights, what they deserve. And I guess the recent verdict was just a stepping stone towards promoting the rights of LGBT people. And I guess we should be happy about it, as I feel that we are progressing towards a very tolerant state.
You know, how are you having sex?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Why should
you got no business
just a minute. It's personal. Why get involved with it? Why even have a judgment on it?
Yeah. Who are you to
judgment on it? Yeah.
Sangama, a sexuality minority rights organization in Bangalore, India, held a massive protest for Kokila. Kokila, a 21-year-old Hijra, has been living in Bangalore city for the last 5 years. She survives by doing sex work, the only option available to most Hijras. On June 18, she was attacked and raped by 10 males. 2 policemen arrived and caught 2 of the attackers. Instead of arresting them, Kokila was taken to the police station, stripped naked and handcuffed to a window. 6 policemen then hit her with lathis and kicked her with their boots. She suffered injuries on all body parts and had her nipples and vagina burned. At 11 p.m., 3 hours after the torture started, Ashwad Narayana, the inspector of police, the highest ranking official in the station, arrived and directed the policeman to continue the torture until 1 a.m.
Hi, I think gay people in India are not getting their rights, and because it's already very difficult for them to come out and accept for themselves that they're gay. Forget telling the world, and now that they're coming out of it, they're trying to tell people, and when they're not getting accepted in the society, it's really unfair, because I don't think anyone chooses to be gay. They're just like that by nature. It's not something you do out of choice, so you should just accept them the way they are, out of humanity, if nothing else. If you can't, nobody's asking you to like stay with them or deal with them, but you can just accept them and not treat them as outcasts, because it's just something which we wouldn't like someone doing to us, and they are not doing it out of any selfish purpose or something. They're just like that by nature. So I think they should be given their rights, and they shouldn't care about the society and live their life, because the society is not caring about them.
भारत देश जिसको हम बोलते हैं कि एक ऐसा देश है जिसमें हर सोसाइटी के हर कल्चर के लोग रह सकते हैं, तो उनका अपना कल्चर है, उसमें हमें इंटरफेयर करने की ज़रूरत नहीं है। मैं ये नहीं कहता उन्हें कोई रिजर्वेशन या कोटा देना चाहिए, बट हाँ उनकी जो लाइफ है उन्हें वो पीसफुली जीने दें, क्योंकि वो किसी को हार्म नहीं कर रहे हैं, ना वो हम क्यों उन्हें हार्म करें फिर किसी बात में। तो बस मैं यही कहना चाहूँगा कि जो अधिकार हमको दिए गए हैं वो उनको भी दिए जाएँ, और कोई भी उन्हें हिकारत भरी नज़रों से या थोड़ा आउटकास्ट समझ करके ना देखें, क्योंकि वो भी हमारी सोसाइटी का हिस्सा है, तो हमें उन्हें अपनाना चाहिए जैसे वो हमें अपना करके हमारे साथ रह रहे हैं।
There is an overpopulation problem in India. There's too many people and you can't walk around freely. You walk into people if you don't open your eyes and carefully not walk into them. You have to avoid people. And it's because of heterosexual sex and children that pop out of it. It's ridiculous. You can just have sex with a man or a woman if you are a man or a woman, and you can make a person, or you can have sex with a man or a woman if you are a man or a woman and not make a person. Don't make a person. There's too many people. You're a person, look to the side, there's another person. There's already too many people. So just have sex with the same sex as you. That's better sex, because you can have an orgasm still. You might not really be attracted to it, I suppose, that's the only problem. But you could easily just look at a photograph and just do that. And I don't get it. Like, why can't we all just live together in one big house and just... Like, you could love a woman and have sex with a man, and you could love a man and have sex with a woman, and you could love both of them at the same time. And you should all be on the pill. If you're not on the pill, I hate you. You suck. I hate you so much. I hate you with every essence of my being. But I don't want this to be a message of hate. I want it to be one of love and pleasure and sexy fun, please. So I guess you can go with whoever you want, really. You don't have to be as extreme about it as I've been, but if you want to have gay sex instead of heterosexual sex that will probably make a person, just do it, because, you know, you'll benefit future society. And that's all I have to say about that.
Just because they say I'm gay or I'm sleeping with this person, that becomes such a problem to you. But why? It's not your business whoever they're doing with. It's not your business with whom they're having sex with. If you why is everyone so interested to know that who they are sleeping with or what they're doing in their bedroom? I feel you guys are perverted then. So you have nothing else to do than invade into someone's life and say that you cannot do this. Who gave you right? Who gave you the right to say someone what you're doing is wrong? That's stupidity.
See, I identify as bisexual myself, and I believe that yes, we should also be getting our rights, but in this country right now that's not the case. The community is really very stigmatized right now, and individual rights are required for everyone. Even we should have the right to love the person and stay with that person and get married to that person, which we don't have right now. And so yes, it's our basic right is being denied to us, and I believe we should have them and we should fight for them. We are fighting for them. Hopefully we'll see a change soon.
Basically, like, my name is Sridhar Ranka, and I've been a gay activist for the last almost 20 years. I've been one of the first person who has been out in the media after Ashok Raf Kavi and some of the very leading people who came out as gay men, because usually what happened was like everybody thought like being gay was a Western phenomenon. Okay, they all thought like there's no gays in India at all. So we had to get up. I mean, I'm talking about the 1980s when there's nobody there at all. So it was important for us to become visible, for us to show our face, and for us to say that yes, we are gay men. So it has been a difficult process for a lot of people to first come out to themselves, to accept themselves as gay men, because that is, as we are talking about human rights, okay, the sense of self-dignity, because everybody has said being gay, being a homosexual is abnormal, perverse, it's sick, it's depraved. So for the person who is homosexual or wants to identify himself as gay, most of the time he is not even sure why is he feeling so. He has no other support structure. He doesn't know how to tell anybody, because he has been conditioned to think it's bad. You know, for that person to become aware of himself, as we call what we call coming out to himself, you know, that is a first process. And then he comes out to his, say, family, to his near and dear people, like maybe sister, brother, whoever, and then he comes out in his workplace. You know, so usually what happens is like when you're comfortable with your sexuality, it's a concentric circle where you start becoming more and more comfortable. You know, first, as I said, yourself, then your family, your close friends, and then you come to the workspace, and then you perhaps come out of the world, you know, in the media. So this is, I think, very few people are able to make the entire transition, because there's so many barriers, whether it's a family, whether it's a society, whether it's, I mean, a workplace. Sometimes, like somebody says I'm gay in a workplace, okay, he could actually lose his job. What is interesting, things have changed. I'm not saying, over the last 20 years, what work we have been doing, I mean, as gay activists, has definitely changed the landscape of the LGBT community. So in fact, like, I mean, if you just see that, like, people have been talking in the media, that now you see a lot of young people coming out and saying, okay, they're gay, or they're lesbian, or they're transgender. Now this actually, visibility is actually providing a certain acceptance in some sense. It normalizes the gay, the concept of being gay. So things are, I think, much better now. Things are getting better, but again, we are really talking about a very small segment in the cities, okay, in the metros. When you go to a small town, okay, what happens? I mean, you go to a small town, say, even 2 hours away from Bombay, they don't understand, I mean, what you're talking about. How can a man live with another man, or a woman live with another woman, make love, have sex, So these are some questions which just pops up, A lot of what is interesting also in the smaller towns, people don't really consider it abnormal, they consider it part of life. But the fact is, they feel it should be just stopped at a certain level, and then they have to get married and have children and go on with their life. So they consider the homosexuality as just kind of a growing phase, which is interesting. But that's the fact that, like, if I think with a bit of education, with awareness, they can understand that, like, even it is not just a growing phase, but it is a choice of a sexuality, which is something which. So that is a longer process in trying to kind of educate and make people aware. So that, I think, a lot of people are working towards, and I'm very glad. I mean, with the decriminalization last year, 2009, July 2nd, the law was changed, to say that, like, being homosexual is not illegal anymore in India within the privacy of your homes. So there is now what we call gay liberation. I can't even pronounce that word, okay? Because we have not been liberated for so long, okay? So there's gay liberation, but the point is, like, I mean, this freedom has to be used with a certain sense of responsibility. You just cannot say that I've got the freedom and I can do everything. So that is very important, that I think gay men, lesbian and transgender people should understand that there's a responsibility associated with the rights you get, or with the freedom you get. So I think that's going to be a challenge for further way everything goes forward.
There is no curse or evil spell that's worse than one we give ourselves. There is no sorcerer as cruel as the proud, angry fool, and yet we cry life isn't fair. Beneath our cries the truth is there. The power that will break the spell we should know very well is locked within ourselves. Yet we'd rather blame and curse our faith and change. We'd run from everyone to hide.
Every human being has the right to live the way they want. So even lesbian, gays, bisexual, transgender people should have their rights the way they want to live. They shouldn't be deprived of something which everyone has. Living the way you want, or loving someone, is a very natural thing. You can't call it an unnatural thing just because something is not going according to some people. That doesn't mean that it's abnormal. It's a very normal thing, because everyone goes through same problems, same life problems, same job problems, same family problems, same everything. The only difference is that they're just loving the same sex. That's not something to be fighting about. I mean, no one is stopping heterosexual people to love who they want. Why should they be stopped? Why should they have to be deprived of that? Why should they have to be suppressed under societies? I mean, there's no God said that, that homosexual is a bad thing. or they should be deprived of them, or that they should be killed or should be tortured. It's been written by humans. All the religious books are written by humans, not by God. It's humans who are making things, who's making a big issue out of it just because it's not according to them. And you can't just force people to do what you want. If you're forcing someone to be according to you, I think even they should force you to be according to them. I mean, that's a good thing that you're not doing it. I mean, there's so much problem in this country, in India. I mean, there's so much poverty, so much corruption, so much rape, child abuse. I mean, people don't have food to eat. Why not do something about that? Then stopping them for what? For love? To be equal? That's a basic right, to be equal. It's a basic right to love someone. You have a basic right to live. Your basic right to have a family. That's a stupid thing to fight for. But you have to in this country because your religious books, your religious people are saying about it. Saying they are mentals. How can you say someone is a mental? How can you say someone is diseased? That's a ridiculous thing to say to someone. Just because some Britishers had made the law that homosexuals are unnatural, that was during the British period. Even their laws have changed in their country. They have the right to live the way they want. They have equal rights. They can get married. They can have domestic partners. Why not in our country, which is not even written by Indians? And it took 164 years to decriminalize it. I mean, okay, that's the first step for accepting it, but decriminalizing, they never were criminals, they never will be. If loving someone is a criminal thing, I think it should be criminal. It should be banned for everyone, even for heteros. Marriage and love, I think it should be banned. If that's a big, really big issue, it should be removed. I mean, discriminating someone on the basis of sex or caste or creed or sexual orientation is ridiculous. Why not do something about your country? Why not get developed? Why not have so much, why not remove solutions for environmental problems, for poverty, for giving basic rights to people, for food, shelter, or clothing? Why not about that? Why not worry about that? I mean, what they are doing, it's a really good thing, fighting up, because most of the people, I think they should learn from them to stand up, to fight for their rights, to speak up. Because most of the things happen, people don't speak up. They are. I think they should be respected for it. And they should be given equal rights. Because it's not a choice. People don't choose to be who they are. They don't choose to be straight or to gay or lesbians, because it's not. Because if you're in your mom's stomach, you don't choose that, dude, I want to be straight or I want to be gay. You don't choose it. It happens. It's feelings. Feelings develop. You don't have it from the start of your life. It's a feeling, and I think they should have the rights, because it's not a choice. No one wants to live a life of so much hatred or so much, hating yourself or killing yourself just for, they actually, so much suicide problems are happening between them. Just because societies are not accepting them, there's so much suicide issues. They kill themselves. For a society who doesn't even accept them, who wants to be left under, they should be killed. Why should they be living their life that way? That's a ridiculous thing to do. I mean, I'm really happy that they are standing up. They are speaking up for their rights to live the way they want. And I don't think there should be a big problem about it. If loving someone is so a bad thing, it should be banned for everyone. I mean, loving someone is a beautiful thing. It shouldn't be taken away from anyone. And as I said, it's not a choice. Because no one wants to live the way in a hard or hatred life. Everyone wants to have a simple, good life. And it's a ridiculous thing to do. They should get equal rights. Do something about other things. Give them rights.